A wannabe influencer doles out massive machetes to homeless in Austin and New Orleans, and now he's coming to New York City. So this is a guy, I think we've seen like some of his videos where he's handing out like handles of vodka to homeless people. Like he's been doing this for a while. He goes around handing out alcohol. Now he's giving them alcohol and machetes. Okay, so here's the video, and this is in New Orleans, I believe, where he's giving them a handle of vodka, a 40 of vodka, and a machete. Okay, now this is like crazy, and I would never do it because I wouldn't want to be personally responsible for people getting killed. Like he just does this all the time, and he's got like, this video has 18 million views on TikTok, right? He knows what he's doing. It's outrageous. Is this legal? It is legal, which is interesting. But it is legal. There's nothing illegal about it. You have to understand, homeless people do not have different rights than the rest of us. They're just homeless, but they have all the same rights. It is funny. And it's also interesting socially. Now, I don't think this guy is trying to make any kind of real statement. It's also immoral. That's why I wouldn't do it. I agree. It is immoral, and I wouldn't do it. You're contributing to these people's problems, and they don't need any help having bad problems. And someone's going to get really badly hurt and mangled as a result. People are literally going to die. Like, I would never do this. And this guy is just doing it for clicks and views. It's immoral, but it's also funny. It's also interesting. And the reason it's interesting is because it really sort of it's sort of like a pushing liberalism to the absurd. You know what I mean? Like, it's really stress testing the sort of, oh, you believe in liberalism? Well, what if I want to like hand out alcohol and machetes to a bunch of homeless black people specifically, right? Because obviously that's dangerous. They're going to get drunk. They're violent. Someone's going to get hurt really badly. But what do you do about that? This is the thing, right? It raises the question of, if a person cannot be trusted with a handle of vodka and a machete, should they have freedom at all? That's kind of the underlying fundamental question here. Because if you gave me a 40 of vodka and a machete, no one would get hurt. The machete would go in the tool shed waiting for some rare situation where I might actually need a machete, but probably like never actually getting used for anything. Maybe as a prop in a video or something. And then the 40 of alcohol would get drunk over the span of literally like 2 years. I would decide to have a vodka drink like 3 times a year. So it's totally safe. It's totally safe to give me those things. But you know, giving these people these things is extremely dangerous and ill-advised. So it really stresses the idea that like we should all have equal rights, right? If you can't trust somebody with a machete and a 40 of vodka, should they be allowed freedom at all? Should they be allowed to be on the streets at all? What if they gave you a 40? Guys, I told you to stop mentioning the coaxial cable. I thought this meme was over, okay? You guys are giving me PTSD flashbacks. Stop it with the... No! Daddy, no! Daddy, no! Okay, person from Brazil or so, I don't know, but talking about U.S. citizenship and loyalty. Okay.
Let's say the United States went to war with Colombia. Who do you side with?
Colombia.
Get the f*** out of our country. Holy f***. Why do you side with Colombia?
Because I'm from Colombia.
You've lived here for 10 years and you're now a citizen.
Okay, still that doesn't mean I'm not gonna like side with
You have
my
no...
country.
Okay, I'm looking this up. Yes, becoming a citizen requires taking the oath of allegiance. By taking the oath, you pledge to renounce any foreign allegiance, support and defend the U.S. Constitution and laws, and perform service to the country when required by law. You do not become a citizen until you have completed the oath ceremony and received your certificate of naturalization. Did you receive your certificate of naturalization?
Yes.
Did you complete the oath ceremony?
Yes.
Yeah, so somebody who went through this, they do make you take an oath where you swear not only your allegiance to America, but that you are giving up your allegiance to your former country. And this is something I personally have no problem with, right? If you ask me like what country I'm loyal to, I would very quickly and easily say America. But there's no sort of racial inferiority complex because I came from a white country to a better white country. So it's easy for me to swap my loyalties. It's easy for me to be like, I'm going to be loyal to the country that gives me more freedom as a 130 IQ Anglo. The way the settlers intended, whether they be Canadian or American back then, they all had a sort of similar way of thinking. It just got twisted over time. But for her, there's like this kind of racial inferiority of if I'm loyal to America, then I'm betraying my race. Kind of thing. At the end of the day, it's all race. Everything is all race all the time.
So you're a liar? Do you remember this?
Go ahead.
Here, read that shit again. I do solemnly swear that I absolutely and entirely renounce and abjure, I don't even know what the that means, all allegiance, Colombia, and fidelity to any foreign prince or what the potentate? Is that a fucking fruit? What the fuck is that shit? It's like a pomegranate and a fucking potato.
It's funny how retarded everyone is. I would love to see them make an example of this chick. Nick keeps talking about this thing of how like the Trump admin is sort of signaling authoritarianism without actually being authoritarian or whatever. They should renounce her citizenship and deport her. It really kind of begs the question though, because people love to say that like, oh, you have to have American values, right? If you want to come here, like Elon Musk quote tweeted some based black dude today. I didn't have it pulled up. I rolled my eyes because again, it's just like some black guy being like, if you come here and you don't assimilate, you're an invader. And Elon Musk quote tweets this and he's like, exactly, or whatever. And it's like, you just love your fucking based black dudes. Absolutely.
Country and demands that you accept their culture as your culture or demands that you change your beliefs, that is not a foreigner. That is not an immigrant.
Blah, blah, blah. I roll my eyes so hard because it's, first of all, we look at the based black guy, everybody. Elon does this all the time. He loves based minorities. But also this whole thing of like, oh, well, you have to assimilate. Otherwise, you're not. And it's like people say this all the time, but nobody ever anywhere gets kicked out for not assimilating. And what would that even look like? Because it's never happened. There's no system for it. This chick could be a precedent for, oh, you admitted publicly to lying about your pledge of loyalty. We're denaturalizing you. We're stripping your citizenship and we're sending your ass back to Colombia, bitch. Bye. But what the point I was going to make, which made me think about this video, is you get into this big argument about what are American values, because some people would argue that saying anything you want to say is like an American value. You know what I mean? So saying fuck America and the ability to say that freely, you see the problem? The problem with like, if freedom is sort of the core value, then that ends up trumping everything else. You see what I'm saying? If the First Amendment is like the thing that you have to love the most about being American, then that has to include the ability to be like, fuck America, I'm loyal to Colombia, blah, blah, blah. So again, all of these problems go away if you just racialize the whole thing. All of these problems go away. The whole idea that we're going to define culture and values, which nobody has ever attempted to do in a legalistic way, there'd be so many problems with trying to do that. Whereas you can just say, this is a white country for white people. And now it's basically black and white. Like, yeah, you get into arguments about who is white, but those are arguments that have answers, that have more or less clear-cut answers, or at least answers that we can basically more or less agree on.